Welcome to Melis Fairy. Today we're starting a new series on the channel, tier lists. So to start, I'm gonna do a little bit of a crossover. I'm gonna do Breath of the Wild characters as Pokemon trainers.
Oh my god! Wow!
If you're new to my channel, I mostly do Zelda content, but I do also play Pokemon games here, and I love Pokemon, so I thought it'd be fun to do a little mashup situation here. I'm using a website called Tier Maker. I don't think you can actually see the whole logo here, but I will link it in the description in case you want to do your own. And basically, I got a pre-made list of Breath of the Wild characters, so I'm hoping that they're all here, like the main ones. And I basically customized the tiers. So we're gonna go from champion being the highest. So champion in the sense, in Pokemon, in the Pokemon universe, a champion is the highest level of Pokemon trainer you can be. So like a Cynthia type character, or Ash right now, I suppose. Elite is a bit lower, so like the Elite Four that you face before facing the champion. So they're highly qualified, like experts at what they're doing. They really know their stuff. Gym leader, also very professional in a sense, but not as elite. So someone who usually specializes in a type and owns their own gym, and you face them and they're good, but they're not elite or a champion. Rival being almost like a reflection of the rivals in the game. So they're good enough to challenge you from time to time, but they're never really quite up there, and they're mostly there to annoy you, and they're more of a nuisance than an actual challenge. And then at the lowest of the lowest levels, I decided to name the category Bug Catcher. So I was gonna name it Grunt, but I thought Bug Catcher was more descriptive of like the lowest level. So a Bug Catcher is like a type of Pokemon trainer you come across while playing Pokemon, and they usually show up more in the beginning of the game. They have like a Caterpie or something, and they're just not the greatest. So that's gonna be my lowest level here. And we're gonna get started.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening!
So our first character here is Beetle. I will move out of the way when we get closer to the bottom here, I promise. So Beetle, I mean, I have to put him as a bug catcher for various reasons. Not because he's into bugs, but because he's just not, like, he wouldn't do that great. I feel like he's the type of character that would never really focus on training his Pokemon. He would just kind of get distracted. He just wouldn't go anywhere. Bug catcher, like, you'd run into him every once in a while, and he would be the easiest one to beat ever in life. So bug catcher for Beetle for sure. Here we have Bluto, and Bluto is the elder of Goron City, and he is potentially a good character that I can imagine being a good Pokemon trainer. However, he's old and his back hurts, and he doesn't seem very reliable as far as like really facing things when things get tough. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna put him as a bug catcher. I just don't think he has it in him. Maybe when he was younger, but no. Okay, Bolson. Now this is interesting. Actually, no, it's not. Bolson's also a bug catcher. I don't think he would have it in him to build a competitive team. Like, actually think about attack and type and... No, bug catcher. I'm sorry. So here, we have Buliara. And Buliara is Riju's main Gerudo guard. And I'm gonna put her as a gym leader, because I feel like she is so focused and she is so strong and determined that I cannot picture her any lower than this, basically. I don't think she would be an elite trainer or a champion, because she seems very into the mission at hand, but definitely not low enough to be a rival or a bug catcher in my eyes. Okay, Calamity Ganon. What are we gonna do with you? Okay, I'm gonna add him as elite. Yeah, elite. He, I think, of course, in this universe, he's not just a giant spider of evil. Like, we're pretending that he's in the Pokemon universe and is actually training Pokemon. I don't think he would be champion level, because he is too power hungry. But I think he would be good enough to be on the Elite Four. maybe build a team with like fire Pokemon and fighting, or dark and fire, maybe a few ghost ones in there. Yeah, I feel like he would be like a heavy hitter trainer that would be hard to beat. Like, you would have to really plan in order to defeat. Now, Cherry's here, the machine. I mean, I don't know why she counts as a character per se. I'm just gonna add her as a bug catcher, and maybe some people will disagree with me, but you know, she's a machine, and I don't feel like she would have a lot of critical thinking in order to build her team, if you will. So let's just move on. Let's move on.
But we can move on. We're moving on.
Okay, so the Great Fairies, they're all here. They're not all together, but they're all here. I'm not gonna consider Melania as like this chunk of Great Fairies because I feel like she's different. But all the Great Fairies are gonna be leaders, gym leaders. So this one here, and I'll explain. This one here, this one here, and this one here. I feel like they are basically ready-made gym leaders for Pokemon games. Like, I can picture characters like them. Oh, sorry if you hear noises, my cats are in here. I can picture them as gym leaders because gym leaders they have very distinct personalities. Some of them are very loud and obnoxious, and I feel like I can even imagine the typing here, like electric, normal, fairy, water, ice, steel. Like, I feel like gym leaders. They would have like competitive teams, and they would be hilarious to fight. The Rook is gonna be gym leader. I don't think he would be good enough to be elite or champion. I know he's a champion in Breath of the Wild, but that's not what we're doing here. He'd probably have a team of rock and ground types, and he would be very straightforward, like a Brock type of character, if you will. Okay, Deku Tree. I feel like the Deku Tree would be an elite. A lot of wisdom, and probably like a grass ground team or grass psychic maybe, and just very like wise and knowledgeable, and probably very strategic when building his team. Again, I don't understand why the cursed statue is character here, but sure. Rival. Like, I feel like the cursed statue would be just a character that shows up every once in a while to just bug you, and they probably have a horrible team of like pure like dark Pokemon, and you can take the whole thing out, like the whole team out with like your one Jigglypuff or something, just like power hungry and like no real chance of ever getting to your level, basically. Okay, Dorian's an interesting one. Dorian basically has that whole plot line of going to the Yiga clan and then deciding to leave, and they come after him. So he's a very layered character, but I don't think he's good enough to be like in the top 3 tiers here, honestly. I'm gonna place him as a rival, just because of his journey with like the dark side kinda, and yeah, I feel like he would be the type that you could easily take out, but not easy enough to be a bug catcher level type thing. Okay, Hudson, bug catcher, would probably have a bunch of rock types with him, maybe a steel or 2. I just feel like he'd be super easy, very like he's just chill, and like he's focused in what he's doing. Like when he's building the houses, he's very focused, but he doesn't really do much, and he doesn't really spark any type of like interesting personality to make me believe that he would be an interesting trainer, basically. Impa is our first champion here. There's no doubt. She would be Cynthia level. She would just be amazing, and like she's so wise, and she has years of knowledge and experience. She would build the most epic team, super hard to counter as far as types go. Champion, like, yeah, no question. The big chicken guy, what's his name? Canelli, I'm gonna put him as a gym leader, only because I think he's the elder of Rideau Village, so he has wisdom in him, And I feel like he's still active enough in his mind and body that he would probably compete at a high level, unlike Rock guy over here. So I'm gonna put him as gym leader. He will probably have like a flying team, flying normal maybe, and I think he would be good, but not good enough to go any higher than this. Cass would be a bug catcher. I'm sorry. He is just built that way. He's that kind of character you just kind of run into every once in a while and he sings you a song. Like, I don't see how he would ever be competitive enough to give you any trouble at all. King Dorphin is going to be elite. I just get that vibe from him. He's very serious and he takes his role very seriously, and I feel like he would do the same as a Pokemon trainer. I feel like he would start out from the bottom and then get as far as elite goes. I don't think he would go all the way to champion, but I feel like elite for sure, like this like crazy water ice team or something like that, and he would just be really hard to beat in my opinion. Like really high defense stuff, I think. Okay, King Rom. Instinctively I want to put him at like an elite level, but he's not the best at what he does. Like, he wasn't the greatest father. He was an okay king, but at what cost? I think I'm gonna put him in the rival tier. And I'm sorry if that offends anyone. Like, I feel like he would just be too focused on the wrong thing at all times. Kind of like he was as a king. Okay, Master Koga's gonna be a bug catcher. He's useless. There's not much to say about it. He's funny. Like, I could almost maybe put him at a rival level just because the interactions would be funny, but I don't think he would ever be good enough. Okay, Link's a champion, obviously. That's, I mean, was there ever a question? He would be amazing at it. He would be like an Ash Ketchum, but he would probably get to champion a little sooner than Ash did. Because Ash did take a while, didn't he? But yeah, of course, he excels at everything he does. He's at the highest level at everything he tries to do, and he does it, so there's no question. Obviously, champion. The horse fairy Melania Blady. So I'm gonna put her as elite, and the only reason why I put the other great fairies as gym leaders and Melania as elite is because Melania just has that edge. She has a bit more personality, she has like a bit of a dark side when you're talking to her, and I feel like she would have enough ambition in her and skill to just go the extra mile. So I don't think she would stop at gym leader. I feel like she would have like this cool, dark, psychic, maybe fairy team, and yeah, elite. Muzu would be a rival. He has it in him as a character to hate Link, so I feel like if he was in the Pokemon universe, he would just be bitter towards whoever the protagonist was, because that's just who he is. And I feel like, again, would never be good enough as a trainer to actually challenge you, but would be that annoying, like, constant character showing up that you just have to constantly defeat over and over again until they get it. Mifa. I feel like Mifa could be either a gym leader or elite, honestly. But I'm gonna... let me think. We're gonna go with elite for Mifa. I think, yeah. Very torn between gym leader and elite, but we're gonna go with elite because she is very focused and she is very kind, and I think she would build like a team with Pokemon that were raised with a lot of love and kindness, and she would be the one to prove that you can do that and still be super powerful and competitive, and like that type of character that showed everyone that you don't have to be like this hardcore trainer and that you can treat your Pokemon with kindness. And she could heal her Pokemon whilst in battle. That's pretty handy. So yeah, elite. Ooh, okay, Mascoshia. Champion. Just the soundtrack, the vibes, 100% a champion. Like, he would not just be elite. He would be the one with like the crazy team, super hard to counter, various types, really high level. Okay, Poor Hestu is a bug catcher. Again, same vibe. The character you kind of run into at different like points of your journey, and he's kind of just there. He wouldn't even be able to catch Pokemon, I don't think. Paya, bug catcher. I'm sorry. She's too flustered. She's too flustered. I just don't see her getting anywhere as a trainer. Okay, I had to actually Google who this Korok was. This one is Chio, and he's the one who presents the trials to Link. And no, like, why is he here? No, bug catcher. He doesn't really do much, and he's kind of like just a character like exposing something. He doesn't really challenge you in any way. So, bug catcher. I'm sorry. Here we have Pikango, and Pikango is that guy from Kakariko Village who asks you to find the fairy fountain. And I actually think he would be a cool rival. I almost put him as bug catcher, but he has this drive in him. Like, he is very old and tired. Like, he can't really get to the fairy fountain with Link. He kind of has to stop and take a breather. But I feel like that's also something that could be fun in a rival. Like a fun little characteristic. And I just feel like he could be a character with like this kooky team of like Mr. Mimes, like variants of Mr. Mimes or something like that. I don't know why. But I just feel like he's too interesting to be a bug catcher level character in the Pokemon universe. Okay, here we have Pura, and Pura is gonna be gym leader. Yeah, gym leader. Or is she gonna be elite? Oh, this is hard. Elite. I think she's good enough to be elite. Just her level of knowledge, like she would build like the most, like the craziest, probably like steel psychic team. Just like trying to combine technology with the strategic side of Pokemon battling. I feel like she would be really good, actually. Revali, I mean, obviously a rival. He is literally, if the Pokemon creators were like, okay, we need to do a Breath of the Wild inspired character here, they would do Revali as a rival. He is literally built as a rival. He's layered enough to be interesting, which I feel like a lot of the Pokemon rivals actually are. And he's like a Gary type character if you're comparing to Pokemon characters. Riju, leader. Not wise enough to be elite or champion, but strong enough to have her own gym with like electric Pokemon and just really kill it. Honestly, she is focused, she is nimble, she is strong, she's determined. She's just not very experienced, but I feel like she could be a cool leader. Probably like a beginning of the game gym leader, not like end game, but still strong. Here we have Robbie. I mean, if I'm adding Pura to Elite, Robbie has to be with her. I feel like they're equally capable. I feel like she's a little smarter, but they're equally capable. So for the same reasons that I put Pura as an Elite, I put Robbie there as well. This is Sage, and this is when I realized that this list that I'm using, it's probably a little random, because Sage is the guy who dyes your clothes at Hateno Village. So if he's here, then surely other NPCs like around villages should be here too. But they're not. So we're just gonna go with it. But Sage is, he's a bug catcher. I mean, he's just, yeah, he's just there. He's a little like crazy, a little silly, but he looks evil, but I don't think he is. I think he's just a little crazy. Okay, Sidon. Sidon would be a leader, I think. Yeah, leader. He wouldn't be on the same level as Mifa, so leader. He'd have a cool gym, probably with a cool puzzle to get to him, and probably challenging, most likely, because he's a strong character. I feel like he would have a team of like buff Pokemon, probably water and ice, but like sturdy ones. Here we have Teba, and Teba has this vibe that I feel like he's such an underrated character, and I'm gonna put him as a gym leader. I thought about maybe putting him as a rival, but I think he would be above that. I feel like he would have a really cool like lore behind his gym, and he would have like a really cool setup, and it would look really cool. And he's really like moody and stuff. That's why I almost put him as a rival. But I think he doesn't have the rival motivations that most of the people I put as rivals do. So I'm gonna put him as a leader. I think he would be a good gym leader. Urbosa, my queen. Of course she's a champion. Of course, she would be amazing. Urbosa is excellent at everything she does. She's just superior, she's amazing, she's flawless. Champion. If there was a higher level than champion, she would be there. She would have like probably like a fighting electric team, and she would just be like above Cynthia level. She would just be unbeatable, flawless, queen of everything. Fight me. Yunobo, pure Yunobo, bug catcher. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Yunobo. You're just... Yunobo is useless. He's a useless character, and that's okay. You don't always have to be useful as a character. He means well, but he's not layered enough to be a rival, and I don't think he would be skilled enough to be a leader or anything above. So bug catcher, I'm sorry. And last but not least, we have Zelda, and I love her so much, and she's gonna be a champion because she's Zelda.
Well, duh.
I feel like she would be kind of like a Cynthia character, where like she's actually really kind throughout the game, and really knowledgeable and wise, and in the end, like, you get there and you get completely destroyed. I feel like she would build a team with such patience and grace, and it would just be like various types. It wouldn't be like predictable. It wouldn't be easy to figure out the types to counter, and of course. So this is my tier list of Breath of the Wild characters as Pokemon trainers. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, and also I'm up for ideas of what tier lists to make next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.